Hello dear students, how are you all? So welcome to my class. In this class we are going to practice some more comprehension passages for our UPSC CSET 2022 and we have already solved many passages and you have already got the idea as I think, but today also we are going to solve some more important passages and you will get to know how to solve these passages and how to pick the answers. The most important thing while solving a passage and while answering the questions from the passages is to know how to eliminate the wrong ones. And as I told you yesterday that while answering the question, you should not focus on how to pick the right answer, rather you should focus on how to eliminate the wrong ones. Okay, because if you know how to eliminate the wrong ones, you will automatically get the right answer. So today also we'll practice some passages. We'll try to read some passages and try to answer questions from the passages by the elimination method. Okay, so let's start with the first passage. So here we have our first passage. Here's the first passage. Today the top environmental challenge is a combination of people and their aspirations. If the aspirations are more like the frugal ones we had after the Second World War, a lot more is possible than if we view the planet as a giant shopping mall. We need to get beyond fascination with glitter and understand that the planet works as a biological system. Read this passage once and then we'll move towards the question section. And before starting, I would like to request you to please share the session. Mridul is watching this session. Mridul, please share the session so that more students may join this class and may get benefited with this practice session. Share this session so that more students may join this class. Okay, so the first passage is, today the top environmental challenge is a combination of people and their aspirations. Okay, top environmental challenge is combination of people and their aspirations. So these two are two different things. People and aspirations, both are two different things which have combinedly created problems for environment because they have become the environmental challenge. If the aspirations are more like the frugal ones we had after the Second World War, a lot more is possible than if we view the planet as a giant shopping mall. What do? We assume the planet Earth as a shopping mall where we go and shop from our choices. We do not think about the planet Earth. We only think about our aspirations. Okay, so we need to get beyond the fascination. We need to get beyond the fascination because until and unless we go beyond fascination, we won't stop humiliating the Earth with glitter and understand that the planet works as a biological system. So the planet is actually a biological system which cannot be used as a physical structure or a place where we can fulfill our aspirations, we can fulfill our wishes. Okay, Earth, planet Earth is not there to fulfill our greed, to fulfill our desires, to fulfill our, it is there to fulfill our needs only. Okay, so this is the passage. Read it one more time, then we will move towards the questions. Hope you have read the passage. Let's move towards the questions. So the question is, which of the following is the most crucial and logical inference that can be made from the above passage? Read the statements and tell me the answer. Okay, The earth can meet only the basic needs of human for food, clothing and shelter. The earth can meet only the basic needs of humans for food, clothing and shelter. The only way to meet environmental challenge is to limit human population. Reducing our consumerism is very much in our own interest. Knowledge of biological system can only help us save this planet. These are the 4 options. Now you have to tell which one is the most crucial and logical inference that can be made from the above passage, from the passage given. Answer this question. I am waiting for your answer, then I'll tell you the correct one. So let's start eliminating it. I told you the best way to solve a passage, the best way to answer questions from the passage is to eliminate the wrong ones. So let's see. A. The earth can meet only the basic needs of humans for food, clothing and shelter. No, this statement is not true, because earth can give you anything and everything you want. It can fulfill all your greed, but it is up to you that we should not look up to the earth for our greeds, for our desire, for our aspiration. We just have to take what we actually need. But it is not the case with earth. Earth can give us anything that we want. So A is incorrect. Now B, the only way to meet environmental challenge is to limit human population. Nowhere in the passage population has been mentioned. Nowhere in the passage population has been mentioned. Okay, so this can be true. I told you yesterday that a statement can appear true, can appear factual, but it is very necessary to see whether it is implied in the passage or not. Any statement which you find true, but if it is not there in the passage, cannot be the correct answer. So B cannot be the answer because it has not been mentioned in the passage. This statement in itself can be correct. B statement in itself can be correct. The only way to meet our environmental challenge to limit human population. Definitely, if you limit human population, it may help reducing the burden that is on our planet Earth. But it has not been mentioned in the passage, that's why it cannot be the answer. So eliminate B because it is not there in the passage. Reducing our consumerism is very much in our own interest. Reducing our consumerism, the way we consume, the limit of our consumerism is in our own interest. Okay, if we limit our consumerism, it may last long. So C option can be the answer, but let's read D first. Knowledge of biological system can only help to save this. So nowhere in the passage it has been mentioned that biological system, knowledge of biological system can help us save the planet. Nowhere in the passage this has been mentioned, but C is mentioned everywhere in the passage. In 2-3 lines it has been mentioned that reducing consumerism is in our own interest. So C will be the correct answer. C is the correct answer. Okay, C is the correct answer. Let's move towards passage number 2. Read this passage. Some people believe that leadership is a quality which you have at birth or not at all. Some people believe that a leader is by birth. Leadership is something that cannot be learned, that cannot be acquired. A leader is a leader by birth. If you are not a leader by birth, you cannot be a leader. Some people believe that leadership is a quality which you have at birth or not at all. This theory is false. This theory is false. For the art of leadership can be acquired and can indeed be taught. So the first line says that some people believe that leadership quality cannot be acquired and it cannot be learnt, it is by birth. But this theory is false because the art of leadership can not only be acquired, it can indeed be taught. This discovery is made in time of war and the result achieved can surprise even the instructors. And this discovery is made in the time of wars. A normal sepoy can be the leader, and in time of war, results achieved can surprise even the instructor. Faced with the alternatives of going left or right, every soldier soon grasps that a prompt decision either way is better than an endless discussion. A firm choice of direction has an even chance of being right, while to do nothing will be almost certainly wrong. So anyone can be a leader, and leadership quality are automatically enhanced when time requires it. So this is the passage. Read it one more time, then we'll answer the questions. Now, time for questions. The author of the passage holds the view that leadership can be taught through war experience only. Is it true? The author wants to say that tough time can turn an ordinary man into a leader. Tough time. And the author has given the example of war just to explain the tough time. So author does not want to say that leadership can be taught through war experience only. So this is wrong. Leadership can be acquired as well as taught. So this statement has been clearly mentioned in the passage, that leadership can be acquired as well as taught. This statement is clearly implied in the passage. So no need to read C or D, because this has been clearly mentioned in the passage. So this is the correct answer. Okay. Next passage. All actions to address climate change ultimately involve cost. All actions to address climate change ultimately involve cost. Funding is vital in order for countries like India to design and implement adaptation and mitigation plans and projects. The problem is more severe for developing countries like India, which would be one of the hardest hit by climate change, given its need to finance development. Most countries do indeed treat climate change as real threat and are striving to address it in a more comprehensive and integrated manner with the limited resources at their disposal. Now, read this passage and then answer the questions. Read this passage one, then we'll go towards the questions. Okay. So here we have questions. Question: with reference to the above passage, the following assumptions have been made. There are two assumptions. Climate change is not a challenge for developed countries. First assumption is climate change is not a challenge for developed countries. And second, climate change is a complex policy issue and also a development issue for many countries. Ways and means of finance must be found to enable developing countries to enhance their adaptive capacity. Now you have to tell which of the following assumption is or are valid. This one is third point, okay? This one is third point. Climate change is a complex policy issue and also a development issue for many countries. And third point is ways and means of finance must be found to enable developing countries to enhance their adaptive capacity. Climate to countries, this is second point, and ways, third point. See, climate change is not a challenge for developed country. Climate change is a problem for every country, whether developing or developed or third world countries. Everyone is facing this problem. So this is not true. Okay, so first one is not true. Now see how many options have first statement. Here first, eliminate this. Here first, eliminate this. Now we have two options left, 2 and 3, 3 only. 2 and 3, 3 only. So second one, climate change is a complex policy issue and also a development issue for many countries. This statement is true. So that's why answer would be C. Answer would be C. Okay. Done? Chalo फिर third passage, fourth passage. Cooking with biomass and coal in India is now recognized to cause major health problems, with women and children in poor populations facing the greatest risk. Cooking with biomass and coal in India is now recognized to cause major health problems, with women and children in poor population facing the greatest risk. There are more than 10 lakh premature deaths each year from the household air pollution due to polluting cooking fuels with another. 1.5 lakh due to their contribution to general outdoor air pollution in the country. Although the fraction of the Indian population using clean cooking fuels such as LPG, natural gas and electricity is slowly rising, the number using polluting solid fuels as their primary cooking fuel has remained static for early 30 years at about 70 crore. So this passage is talking about the disadvantages of solid fuels like coal in households, which causes air pollution and ultimately deaths of many premature. Read this passage once and then we'll move towards the questions. So here we have questions. Which of the following is the most crucial and logical inference that can be made from the above passage? Which of the following is the most crucial and logical inference that can be made from the above passage? Rural people are giving up the use of polluting solid due to their increasing awareness of health hazard. Rural people are giving up the use of polluting solid fuels due to their increasing awareness of health hazards. Subsidizing the use of clean cooking fuels will solve the problem of India's indoor air pollution. India should increase its import of natural gas and produce more electricity. Access to cooking gas can reduce premature deaths in poor households. So D option is the correct one. Access to cooking gas can reduce premature deaths in poor households. This is the correct answer. Okay, all three can be ruled out simply because the passage is talking about premature deaths due to air pollution caused by solid fuels, which can be replaced easily by LPGs and other cooking gas. Next para, next passage. The Arctic vast reserves of fossil fuel, fish and minerals are now accessible for a longer period in a year. But unlike Antarctica, which is protected from exploitation by the Antarctic Treaty framed during the Cold War and is not subject to territorial claims by any country, there is no legal regime protecting the Arctic from industrialization, especially at a time when the world craves for more and more resources. The distinct possibility of ice-free summer has prompted countries with Arctic coastline to scramble for great chunks of the melting ocean. Read this passage. मृदुल पैराग्राफ में डेथ से रिलेटेड बिल्कुल बोला गया था. पैसेज को आप एक बार और देखिएगा. प्री मैच्योर डेथ की बात की गई थी पैसेज में. ठीक है, मैं आपको एक बार दिखा देता हूं पैसेज. देखिए, ये देखिए, यहां देखो मृदुल, देयर आर मोर देन 10 lakh premature deaths each year from household air pollution due to polluting cooking fuels with another. ठीक है, यहां पर लिखा हुआ है डेथ के बारे में. ठीक है, बिल्कुल डेथ के बारे में लिखा गया था. और इन डेथ को कैसे खत्म किया जा सकता है, कैसे कम किया जा सकता है? उनकी जगह जो सेफ कुकिंग फ्यूल्स है उनका यूज करके, जैसे एलपीजी है या नेचुरल गैसेस है, बायोगैसेस है, इस तरह से. ठीक है, अब इस पैसेज को पढ़िए. हाँ जी. So the Arctic vast reserves of fossil fuel, fish and minerals are now accessible for a longer period in a year, but unlike Antarctica, which is protected from exploitation, by the Antarctic Treaty framed during the Cold War and is not subject to territorial claims by any country, there is no legal regime protecting the Arctic from industrialization, especially at a time when the world craves for more and more resources. The distinct possibility of ice-free summer has prompted countries with Arctic coastline to scramble for greatest chunks of the melting ocean. This was the passage. Okay. Now see the question. Question number 6. Which one of the following is the most important implication of the passage? Which one of the following is the most important implication of the passage? India can have territorial claims in the Arctic territory and free access to its resources. Melting of summer ice in the Arctic leads to changes in the geopolitics. The Arctic region will solve the world's future problem of resource crunch. The Arctic regime has more resources than Antarctica. Now tell me which of the above assumption is or are valid. Which of the above assumption is valid? Cut this one, huh? Cut this one. You have to tell me which is the most important implication of the passage. Hmm. 6D. No, D is not the correct answer, Mridul. Very first, eliminate A because there is India. It is not about India. India has not mentioned in the passage, so remove it, eliminate it. And as far as D is concerned, the Arctic region has more resources than Antarctica. This has also not been mentioned in the passage. The Arctic region will solve the world's future problem of resources. No. Melting of summer ice in the Arctic leads to changes in the geopolitics. Yes, this is the correct statement. So B is the answer. B is the answer. Okay. Now, next passage. Being a member of the WTO, India is bound by the agreements that have been signed and ratified by its member, including itself. According to Article 6 of the Agriculture Agreement, providing minimum support prices for agricultural product is considered distorting and is subject to limits. The subsidy arising from minimal supports cannot exceed 10% of the value of agricultural production for developing countries. PDS in India entails minimum support price and public stock holding of food grains. It is possible that in some years the subsidy to producers will exceed 10% of the value of agriculture production. Being a member of WTO, India is bound by the agreements that have been signed and ratified by its members, including itself. According to Article 6 of the Agricultural Agreement, providing minimum support prices for agricultural product is considered distorting and is subject to limits. The subsidy arising from minimal supports cannot exceed 10% of the value of agriculture production for developing countries. PDS in India entails minimum support prices. Read this paragraph one more time. Read this passage. Anji. So here are the questions. What is the crucial message conveyed by the above passage? India should revise its PDS. India should not be a member of WTO, World Trade Organization. For India, food security collides with trade. India provides food security to its poor. India should revise its PDS. What is PDS? Public distribution system. Public distribution system. Okay. What is the crucial message conveyed by the above passage? India should revise its PDS, public distribution system. India should not be a member of WTO. Eliminate this. I told you earlier that eliminating the wrong statement is more important than finding the correct statement, because correct statement may confuse you. There may be one or two statements that may appear to be true, but eliminating the wrong statement is much more easy than finding the correct answer. So if you learn how to eliminate, you will definitely get the right answer. So eliminate second, this one is wrong. Now eliminate other ones. India should revise its public distribution system. No, it has also not been mentioned in the passage. India provides food security to its poor. This has also not been mentioned. This, you may find this correct. You may find this correct. If politically you think it may sound good, but passage does not talk about this point. For India, food security collides with trade. This has directly been mentioned in the passage. So this is the correct answer. C is the correct answer. Okay. See, 3 more days are remaining for your examination, and I expect you have practiced a lot. Now, there are a few things about comprehension that you have to keep in your mind. First thing, this is the final thing that I am telling you about comprehension, because enough practice has been done, and you have studied about comprehension a lot of things. Final touch. First thing, if you remember these points while answering the question, I am sure you will make maximum out of your comprehension part. First thing, do not get tricked by universal truth, facts, your social and political viewpoint, your own assumptions, any solution from your or social perspective. All these things which I have mentioned here are tricks to trap you. If you get tricked by these things, certainly you are going to hit it wrong. Because whenever we answer questions asked from a passage, we never forget to apply universal truths, facts, social and political viewpoint, your own assumption, any solution from your social from your or social perspective. And these are the tricks which compels you to hit the wrong answer. Because until and unless these things are mentioned in the passage, no matter how good a statement is, no matter how good the solution of the statement is, until and unless it has been mentioned in the passage. Any statement which seems to be true is not necessary to be the right answer until and unless it is mentioned in the passage. So prevent yourself from being tricked by these things while answering questions from a passage. Okay? Nothing to worry about, and there is no easy trick to solve a comprehension, because each and every passage is unique. Passages cannot be repeated. So two things you have to do. First, read newspapers and articles so that you get to know the trending topics and vocabulary. And as far as the strategy to solve a comprehension is concerned, you just have to keep in mind these particular points, nothing else. Enough practice has been done by you. I have also tried to, solve previous year questions in my class. But if you keep these 3-4 simple things in your mind, I am sure you will be able to hit the right answer. Okay? I wish you best of luck for your examination. And if I feel that tomorrow's class is necessary, I'll definitely bring some more passages for you. Otherwise, if there is no class of comprehension from tomorrow, because exam is very close to us, just keep these things in your mind and you'll make out of it. Okay? So see you in the next class, hopefully. And if there is no class of comprehension, I wish you good luck for examination in advance. Give your 100% effort, do well, and rock. See you some other time. Goodbye.